Hey guys, time for a bit of an update. I thought I'd do a Christmas update for you all. I've been keeping very busy in consideration of the fact that I'm not working. I've spent a lot of time out here. Misha's been very, very good on that front. Mainly because we've got the target of the Retro Rides Weekender at Goodwood, which is... Christ, so I've got basically 5 months. I need to get the car put together, engine in, gearbox in, fired up, ECU loom built, and running, road tuned, dyno tuned, MOT'd. There's quite a lot to do, but we're doing pretty well. I've spent quite a lot of time over the past few days making these train whistles for the kids for Christmas, but that hasn't taken up too much time. If I show you where we are so far, this is what I've been up to. We've got the rear... Ooh, crikey. The rear number plate surround, which is now all black, which I'm pretty pleased with. It's come out really nicely. It's the original Japanese import mount, so it's a little bit different to the UK one, which means you need to use a square number plate, but that looks really good and it matches up with the risers quite nicely. So let's... So the other thing which I've done is down here, I don't know if you can see down there, we've got let me see, yeah, so we can see all the steering stuff down there. I've completely taken this apart again. I've cut out a section here, which means that I've reduced all the steering angles. They had a couple of tight spots before, and it's mainly because the UJs were over articulating, so I've taken about probably 2 inches out of here, which has raised this up, put the length back in over this bit over here, and it means that the whole system, it works a lot better than it did before, which is really good. Very pleased with that. Come around this way. I've been having fun as well. I've stopped doing the wiring for a little bit because, like all these projects, the mojo ebbs and flows, and I needed to do something to cheer myself up a little bit and get things moving on the project. So I started to put all of the cooling pack in. So I've got the where are we? It's quite hard doing it like this. Got the front, the main engine rad in, and also the header tank. Now I don't know quite if I'm going to be able to get the header tank up high enough just yet, so I've got to do a bit of fiddling about there, but that should be okay. One of the bits that I'm really happy with is this little lot. So the charge cooler is all in, all of the pipe work sorted. We've got runs from the rad over to the actual charge cooler itself. We've got all of the pipe work down here, let's see. So all of the pumps all in there, and the runs down to the radiator sorted. I've got the bleed from the top of the header tank, you can just see there from the radiator, that's sorted. I've also got got a bleed from the... Get the light right. Got a bleed from the top of the charge cooler over here. It's pretty hard to see what's going on here. Let's try doing that. That's better. So I've got a bleed from the top of the charge cooler over here, and the other bleed line runs. You can just see it coming across from the header tank of the rad there. And I've fitted the actual main system header tank up here, which has got a rise on it from the top of the charge cooler, and also the second line which runs across over here. That's all on a nice custom made stainless bracket which I did this afternoon, which all fits in really nicely. So yeah, that system all in all really does look pretty flipping cool. I'm ever so pleased with how that's come out. It's very nice indeed. So that's all good. Power steering. So we've got where are we? We've got a line that runs all the way across, all the way around the engine bay, and back across around the back of the radiators here to our power steering pump. I'll put you from the other side, it's a little bit easier to see. So the power steering pump is going to sit between the radiators. I've utilised the original fittings from both the rack end and actually the pump end. The pump end has a banjo on it, which is the same size as the pump, the electric pump which I'm using now. That's from a Mercedes A-Class, so that's really good. And that's all crimped onto a standard hydraulic line on, I think, a BSP fittings or something. So a company in Horsham did that for me. Really, really good. So power steering pump's in, power steering is looped round. I just need to get the pump mounted up, which would be mega. Engine wise, I have painted the inlet manifold, so that's come out quite nice. I've taken some brackets off the front of it as well, so it looks a little bit tidier. Pop that manifold off. The other thing which we've got is, turn around this way, a little bit easier to see. All of the fittings are now on here as well, all the stainless steel ear clamps, 400 series push fit hose onto some nice fuel line fittings, and that's a rail fed from both ends with a return in the centre, and that all goes to regulator, which is sat down here. That's all bolted up as well, so the fittings are on there, and the pressure sensors on there. Fitted the knock sensor, that's on there. It's a custom maker stud for that to I think it's from a Subaru. It's whichever the cheapest genuine Bosch one I can find, basically. All of the looms are sorted out for the coils, they're all done. And the loom also for, get them out of the way, the loom for all of the injectors, that's all done as well now. So I've put them onto on separate plugs so we can quickly disconnect those. Drain for the turbo, so the sump drain for the turbo is done. That's I've looked and I have actually got enough of a drop on there to not use a scavenge pump, which I'm really pleased with. So pleased about that. That's good. Been dicking about with the flywheel as well and the clutch, because I don't know if you remember from the thread, but when I'd initially had that fitted, the guy who fitted it was a bit of a gorilla, and he took the bolts that I supplied with it. There was a little bit of clearancing issue, so what he did was he ground all the heads off the bolts after he torqued it up, which was really nice thing to find when I took it all apart. What I've done, which is what he should have done, is fitted some nice dome-headed Torx drive fittings, and they now give me enough clearance, which is fine. The only odd thing I have found is that the clutch plate's a bit buckled. I'm not entirely sure how that's happened, in all honesty, because, well, it was working fine when it was on the car. The only thing I can imagine is that it's the material which it's made from is not quite strong enough, or maybe it's not a spring steel type material, and it's just twisted a bit in use. So I am actually going to have to replace the clutch at some point. Because it was working fine, I'm going to put it back in again, probably drive it for a year or so, because I only do probably 1,000, maybe 2,000 miles on it. And then when we're sorted, take the clutch flywheel out, and I'll probably replace it with a twin plate one. So yeah, I've checked the clearance on that, so that's all good. I've ordered up the ECU. That's going to be arriving just after Christmas, so we can build up the loom for that. But yeah, so we're going to get to a point where that is going to have to be attached to that and go into there soon enough. So I reckon fire up in end of January, early February. Bets are on, basically. We've got 5 months to get the damn thing running, so speak soon, guys.